Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Primetime Homebuyers, the buyback team. Hints and Tip Friday. And I want to first start off by saying thank you so much to the buyback team for having patience with me today. I had to reset the live a few times because I was taking my kids to the doctor. So I do apologize for that. We're here and we're ready. And what we're doing today, we're going to be doing a redo of how to invest in Georgia. I noticed when I listened to the audio and I was ready to upload it to the website for you guys, it totally went blank. So we're going to redo Florida and we're going to do Georgia, but today we're just going to focus in on Georgia. We're going to also flash back into some content that we presented to you about Georgia so you can put that information together and make the connections. Lastly, but not least, before I go into the details of how to invest in Georgia tax liens, please know that there will be a full section that will be released on the website dedicated specifically to Georgia tax lien investment. Now, if you're not a member of the website or you're not enrolled in the course, you do have an option to view all of this information. This information will be a series of 6 seminars that we have did on primetime home buyers, as well as one or two live actual views of the courthouse, how the process works in Clayton County, as well as our house hunting trip that we went prior to actually going to one of the tax lien sales. So we walked you through the process of actually pre researching, and we did it live for you. So we have all of that together in one package on the website that will be released tonight at 12 o'clock for $25. Okay. You'll have endless ultimate access to that content. And as well, you'll have, I do apologize, you'll have also the PDF checklist available to you, as well as the PowerPoint that we present in any video. So, all right, let's get this broadcast started. Now, we're going to start off with I need you to get your pens and paper to start to get this information that I'm going to dictate to you. Okay, so we're going to start this as a dictation seminar. Georgia, as we know, have a lot of counties. Georgia has about 159 counties. So this is why I tell primetime home buyers, the buyback team, never stress. Take your time, pick a county, get in there, learn about it, learn about 2 or 3 counties because you have over 3,000 in the whole United States. Okay? So your options in Georgia is 159. This is a hybrid D state, and we're going to find out why it's a hybrid D state, which means it's a tax lien state, but the process allocates it to be under a hybrid deed state. This state also offers premium bidding, which we know premium bidding is basically the amount that's due, penalties, as well as interest and cost for the sale. That's the minimum bid that is required when you're at the auctions in Georgia. In Georgia, they do not offer over the counter sales because they do have consecutive tax lien sales mostly all year around. So, this won't be a place if you're not able to go to, you will not be able to participate in Georgia's tax lien sales. So the sheriff or the constable or tax commissioner holds the tax sale. Each county has their own entity. As you can see, when we went to Clayton County, the tax commissioner office, where the tax assessor's office were, they literally hosted that in front of the court building, but it was the tax assessor's office. And if you remember our Henry County review, it was in front of the courthouse, okay, in which the commissioner is the person that's in charge in Henry County. So when you do your Pacific tax lien research for the county, you will see this information. Where would it be, guys? Where do I always say look? The frequent asked questions. 9 out of 10, and I'm going to be honest, a lot of these counties have become high volume tax lien sale counties, and they want to make sure that the process is done right because they want to be paid their taxes. So you'll find a lot of the information on the frequent asked questions such as how to enter the tax lien sale, what's the requirements, do you have to make a deposit, um, and what is the payment process, when do you have to pay it, and many go as far as telling you based on the date of the tax lien sale when you can move forward with foreclosure. Okay, so if you enter the free course, you're going to see we gave you an example of that specifically in Maryland, where Maryland broke down what you had to do the foreclosure process. And that was great because we know Maryland is a judicial state, right? The buyback team, do we remember judicial versus non-judicial? That's some of the information that you're going to find in the Georgia how to invest in tax lien package, that those hosts of seminars that we will have available 12 a.m. tonight. Oh, 12 p.m. Yeah, 12 p.m. All right, so moving forward, the tax penalties are what? Up to 20%. Okay. So please tell me where and what type of instrument that you can invest in, or business or stock, that you're guaranteed to get 20% back, or the property, if you did your due diligence. Because as we talk about, there's always a risk with tax liens. And that's one thing you're going to know with the buyback team. We're upfront and we're honest. And our goal with this program is to mitigate the risk factors. We don't want you to just go to the county sale and, as I say, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, and you get stuck with a dud. No, we need you to do your research, do your pre-soft title search, look at the deed, all the good stuff that we talk about. So moving forward, the redemption timeline in Georgia is 1 year. So from the day of the tax sale, they have 1 year to redeem their property before you can move forward with the foreclosure actions that is needed for Georgia. And when I say foreclosure actions, don't get afraid and like, oh my God, I got to go do a foreclosure. What I mean is at the end of any tax lien or tax deed, there's a process. Either it's a little bit easier than a foreclosure, which means you have to notify these people, and that is known as the non-judicial process. But you're not going to just notify the homeowner, and we're kind of going to go into that a little bit, okay? So you have 1 year to get yourself together and get ready for this property. The state of Georgia works as a tax deed state, but it's actually a tax lien state, and this is what we're going to get into. Many tax lien sales takes place between April to December on the second Tuesday of each month. It's pretty uniform in Georgia. You just need to verify with the county, and they'll be right there on the website. But it's usually the second Tuesday of each month, which is coming up next week, guys. Okay, I may have a surprise for you. Okay, the minimum bid accepted, as we talked about, is the tax, interest, penalties, and fees and costs of the sale. Added time of redemption to the tax lien holder may start at the time where the foreclosure process is initiated. So, this is why we find it very important to teach you how to do a basic legal search, because you're going to be able to see, okay, now that I'm ready to foreclose, does this state have a law that they have a little bit more redemption time? I remember someone leaving a comment such as that, and just because it turns you bought a deed specifically, or you bought a tax lien that's hybrid, does not mean that the owner doesn't have additional 30 days, 60 days. Sometimes it's like just that little bit after you start filing, because you're putting them on notice, giving them a little bit more time. So just keep that in mind. um, we did highlight that the foreclosure process is a non-judicial process. We're not going to go into detail of what that is and how to do that, because we talk about it a lot. The homeowners still have some time to redeem the property. The tax and purchaser still has no physical right to the property yet. Okay, so that means that in the state of Georgia, I'm jumping the gun. You have to do a quiet title action because of the practices of the county. Usually, they put a minor lien on it to insure the home, and that plus other things may be on the home that you need to clear to move forward to foreclose and to sell the home. Okay, so this will be your requirement in Georgia. This is the most important part that you should know when it deals with Georgia, because you can invest, but you need to know how to close the deal. And in every state, we always stress to you, know how to close the deal, know what to expect. Don't go in and just invest in the state and be like, okay, so now I got the tax lien, I invested. Now, what's the foreclosure process? Do I have to get a lawyer? Do I just have to put them on notice because, it's a non judicial state? You want to have all your eggs in the ducky when it comes to what you have to do and the time frame, especially as a new investor or especially as a multi-tax lien investor. You want to keep your timelines underway and strict, because I explained to you, even if you have a lawyer that's doing your judicial process, if it was like this in Georgia, you want to check and balance, because as I told you, I went through some things with my lawyer I've been working with over 5 years, where he was not doing the foreclosure process properly for me. Okay, so we're going to move forward. I'm not going to talk about that. So the tax lien holder has to perform a quiet title action. And this is what I was talking about. Never think that you're just going to get the deed. I'm done. No, you can't just go in and say, get out. I got your deed. It has to be some notification. So even if it's a deed state, you have to move forward with actions. But this is a hybrid tax lien state. That's why I'm talking in this aspect. Because if we're talking about a regular tax lien state that's not hybrid, you're going to have a little bit more to do. Okay. So we definitely know we have to do a quiet title action, which is required by the state to do a proper foreclosure. We go into detail under the title section in the full course. Explain that to you. In the next 2 weeks, we're going to pull the title section out for more advanced tax lien investors. So if this is a area that you're kind of weak in and you're like, hey, I've been investing, I just want to go into another state, but I want to know how to do a proper title search, a pre-title search, so I can make sure that I'm not getting a dud, because some states sells duds. Some states don't care if they have other liens on it. They're just going to sell it to you. So if you go through the directory that we have available for you on the website, you'll start to be able to break down some of that information to be aware what state's going to require you to put more work in. And that's the truth. So we do know a quiet title action is needed to finish the foreclosure process. Once the title is perfected, because that's what happens after you do the quiet title action, you're clearing the clouds. Once the title is perfected and the redemption time is completed, because we already said it, you got that year, but now you put them on notice, they probably got like 30, 60 days. Okay. Now, the tax lien holder becomes the tax deed holder, and they are responsible for the subsequent taxes that's due, as well as securing that property and making sure that you have some type of protection, and that is insurance. And as I explained to you guys, if you already have a home and you have home insurance on your first home, most insurance company, it's a rollover clause that it protects other land and property. So you need to call your mortgage company, well, your insurance company that housed your first mortgage or your first home, to see if you even have to go another route to secure your new land in Georgia. Okay, sounding good. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to add to the screen a PowerPoint, because I want you guys to be aware that there are some pitfalls to investing in tax liens. There are. You can't always think that everything is going to be perfect, because it's not. Things happen. Okay. And I want you to be aware of that. So give me 1 second. Share system audio. I think that's what I had did before. I didn't share my system audio, and that's what blanked out the actual, there we go, the audio before. I'm getting it, guys. I am getting it. And I thank you guys for having patience with Lashley. Thank you so much. I'm grateful. All right, so let's go into review mode. This is the PowerPoint that I made for you. I made this PowerPoint. Please bear with me. Review. Why is it not reviewing? Slideshow. I made this on the road going when I was going down to take my kids to the doctor. I had to have my son drive and everything because I wanted to pull this information and make sure that you have it and that it is available for you, that you know that there are some pitfalls. So, Georgia tax lien, be aware. You never know. Questions to ask yourself when investing. Did the homeowner get proper notice, or homeowners, you said slash s, got proper notice about the deed sale? Some counties are not advanced. And if they did not have proper notice, that can set you back. So you want to inquire with the county or the county commissioner's office who's responsible for notification once you put that application in with the county to say, hey, I'm ready to foreclose. Because not that's usually the process. You'll go back into the county and you'll start to file your paper and they'll put them on notice because this is a non-judicial process. Is the homeowner alive? Okay. You want to know, is the homeowner in the house? Is they alive? Because that's going to change your actual notification process or what you have to present to get this done. If the person's not alive, then you're going to do some type of notification because they have heirs, and that's just part of the pub. You have to do public notifications, but it'll be a little bit different. Was the estate owner notified? Again, estate owner could be someone who is responsible for the property and not the actual person who owns the property, if you know what I'm saying. Because we talk about trust. We also have our trust series that's released. We ain't gonna talk about that right now. We're gonna talk about it in the end. But we've been talking about trust and how to create a trust. And some people have trust and they have their homes under the trust. And when it's under the trust, then there is an estate owner, which is the trustee, because they're responsible to make sure that everything's executed properly on the trust. So this is what I talk about when I say, was the estate owner notified? They have to be notified. Are there any bankruptcy connected to the property? Ding dong. That is definitely a show slower downer. It's not a show stopper depending on the situation. Just know if the worst that can come from bankruptcy is that you get paid out and that you did not receive the property, because what they will do under a lot of bankruptcy terms, they take the home and liquidate it to pay out all of the IOUs. So this is why you don't end up with the property. So let's just keep that in mind. And we talk about bankruptcy as well in the full course. Foreclosure consideration. I told you from the beginning, before you even put your dollar down, a penny down, before you even choose the property off the list, you need to understand what is that state foreclosure process. This is going to tell you what your investment needs and the timeline that it needs to be done. These properties are not limited to, but can include current owner and property owner. Okay, so prior owner. I do apologize. I told y'all I had to warn y'all. I was making this on the road, so I didn't get a chance to re-edit it, but I think I did good. So, if anyone has connection to this property, this is telling you you have to notify everybody. And that's at the end when you're trying to collect this deed. And even if it's not a full foreclosure process, this is the initial process to foreclosure, start putting people on notice. And this is what you have to do in a non-judicial process. And you can get a tax lien lawyer because there's many in Georgia that can do this for you easily, especially if it's your first time. Okay. I don't want you guys to just jump out the window and be like, I could do it. I could do it. Prime time showed me everything. Yes, we're showing you everything so you can be thorough. You can check and balance your avenues. And then you use resources to help you. But then if these resources are taking advantage of you, are they going the right route? And know how to, figure things out. Okay. So tenants as well. If it's tenants in the home, they have to be put on notice. Lenders, we know that, and heirs. Okay. And that's why we teach you how to go in and go look up estate information to see if it's an heir to the property. When you're looking up estate information in wills, that's why you're looking up wills. I know people who took the course like, why does she have a will section? Because you end up trying to foreclose and you don't know that house has an heir to it, and they come up and say, hey, that's my pappy house. No, no, no. I'm gonna pay you, get out. You see, you don't want those things to just pop up on you. Okay. So, selling the property is a consideration. One of the steps that are required in Georgia is to complete the foreclosure action is to do a quiet title action. So we're going to talk about that again. Quiet title action. That's what you have to do with Georgia. Remember that. That's the most important thing you can remember. A quiet title action is is geared to get rid of any clouds that are on the deed. This action is a lawsuit against the property. You're suing the property that will clear all clouds on the deed. Moving forward with this action, such as this, they can include putting the former owner on notice and serving them documents. So that's what you're doing in this point. Now, when we talk about the quiet title action, because they need to be aware of that too, there are two things that we have to re-highlight about the quiet title action that is very important for you guys, and I just think you should always choose the latter so you could just eliminate anybody coming back after this property. Okay, therefore, with the quiet title action, it is important to decide if you will forward the action to the particular owner or against the world. They're like, huh? What do you mean? You can file a quiet title action that's going to be to everybody. To everybody. So no one can come back and make a claim on this property. So that's one of the, and you, if you see me, I'm winking my eyes, hint, hint, to know about Georgia. Okay. Please review quick claim information in full course section, title, research. Okay. No guarantees. No guarantees. So please keep in mind that in the state of Georgia, it's supposed to be deed. I do apologize. Even after the full procedure has been done to secure the deed. So even after you did everything in Georgia and you got the deed, you need to know this. The county, if the county has made any typo or sell or advertisement error. So it's typo, sell, advertisement error on the original lien, such errors can void the whole transaction. Yes. And I gotta reiterate that. That's why you gotta be so thorough. I got lucky when in Maryland. Yeah, I told y'all about the parcel and the mix-up description. That could have avoided my whole transaction in the state of Georgia. But you have to know the law, and that's why we teach you. And it's not hard to go look up law. It's not hard. We're gonna have a whole section for you there, but we're gonna do a pre-class for you. We know we're gonna always show you the pre-class. We're always gonna show you how we get started, and then we're gonna break it into detail on the website for you. Okay. So please keep that in mind. In the case of this happen, it's important to seek legal advice to find out if you can receive a refund. We almost did this. Oh, oh, sorry. I think that was a song in the background that came on that PowerPoint. All right, so move. I'm like, where is that "Ya America" come from? Yeah. So now we're gonna move forward. We're gonna stop sharing, and now we're gonna move to our next part of this broadcast. And the next part of the broadcast, I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit of flashbacks because now I need you to take the information that I just shared with you and I need you to connect it to what we're about to share now. So we're going to go into Henry County, what is a non-judicial versus judicial sale, what I talked about. Now we're going to just give you the sneak peek. It's not a sneak peek because we did this for you. You're going to be able to have access to all of this when you enter the $25 seminar because it's $25 and it's for 5 videos. We got you. We now we're going to treat you like that. Okay. So let's get this started. Hold on. Let me make sure that this not going to just play on me. I hope you guys are having a great Friday, and I hope that you are learning a lot too. Because you know I love to learn. I love to share. I love to share information. I love to learn. That's just what I like to do. So come on, let's get this party started. Welcome. Welcome back to Primetime Home Buyers, the buyback team. And you're here with Lashley, where we're going to go into a topic today known as non-traditional tax sale procedures versus judicial tax sale procedures. And the reason why this is important because as tax lien investors, it's very important to know what type of legal process we have to go through prior to foreclosing on the property or what process we will need to actually get that done. So we're going to break this down for you a little bit because in Georgia, most counties participate on a non-judicial tax sales procedure. So just knowing any tax sale procedures, you are responsible for doing your due diligence. And this is looking for information pertaining to the property, finding out if the property is actually in good standing physically, financially, to be able to be a successful investor. And when we say physically, we don't want any junk property. Financially, we want to search for liens on the property prior to us actually investing to see if we have risks associated with this property. Okay? This is why it's important for you to do your due diligence. The tax commissioner will execute the tax deed after the sale in the process of non-judicial tax sale procedure and will have the deed properly recorded. The deed is not a warranty deed, so you don't have outright possession of the property. Please be aware of this. Every county has a redemption period. In the case of Georgia, the state redemption period is 1 year from the date of the county sale. It is the purchaser's responsibility to check the validity of the title of the property. This is why we talk about title searches and the importance of having a title company and or possibly starting the title search process yourself. And if you're part of the buyback team and in course 2, we have an extensive course breakdown on title search, which is about 3 hours to show you how to get started to do your own title search and also the benefit of having a title company in your Rolodex. The deed, along with other information, will be sent to the purchaser at the address given at the auction. The mailing address is given at the time of purchase, and the address will be listed as PT61. So basically, you will be listed as a person that has invested authority in the property as of the day when you purchase the tax lien. The purchaser of the property does not take possession. Again, just because you buy the tax lien does not mean you own the property outright. The current record holder of this particular document has to issue a fee file. A fee file is basically to put the person on notice that you are ready to redeem the property. The only time you can file a fee file in the state of Georgia is no less than 1 year, 12 months and 1 day. Once 12 months and 1 day come after you purchase the tax certificate, you can move forward in getting your title search done, as well as starting to put the homeowner on notice via a fee file, which is basically a lien against the home. We're going to go a little bit deeper because it's not against the person. You're going to be foreclosing on the home. The purchaser must wait at least 1 year and 1 day to begin the foreclosure process to borrow the right redemption law in the time frame. The purchaser will be responsible for any future assessments and property taxes that are associated with the current property. This includes the outstanding taxes owed to the city if the property lies within the city limits. Okay? On rare occasion, the tax commissioner reserves the rights to actually basically void the tax sale in situations of irregularities. Sales such as bankruptcies, assessment errors, and procedure errors. And in course 2, we go into detail about how to look at the title and to assess the transfer of the title to make sure that it's consecutive. Because that's one of the reasons why they may have an issue turning the title over. Any type of errors in the documentation of the description, etc. So if you want more information pertaining to that, my best advice is to join the buyback team course 2. Course 1 is totally free. Course 2 will give you the key details you need to be a sound, wise investor. I'm talking a deed and how to read a deed. We go over a deed and how to read it. Course 2 is actually a 9-hour course, and we do offer online online classes for 5 or more people where you can bunch together and you pay your fee, and we will have the course live for you where you'll be able to interact with me or another host and ask questions. And at the end of our 2-day session, you will have access to both programs so you can review it for free. So we will be having that package coming up. Please look forward to hearing about that. So let's continue to go on about non-judicial tax sales. Non-judicial tax sales is the most common route of tax sale commission it will take. After the payment deadline has passed and provide the owner with written notice, the tax commission turns the matter straight over to the sheriff. This is the difference from a non-judicial tax sale versus a judicial tax sale. Basically, the non-judicial tax sale does not include court proceedings. The judicial tax sale does include court proceeding with a judge. So let's get into detail. Continue. Non-judicial tax sale. The tax commission turns the matter over to the sheriff. And this is what is called the fee file or the writ of execution. So if the fee file or the writ of execution is put into the sheriff's office, they have to execute this on the behalf of the person. Okay? The fee file is an abbreviation for the Latin term meaning cause it to be done. And the writ, in the case, formally commands the sheriff to sell the property at the auction to the highest bidder. So instead of going through the full court process where the judge will grant the tax commissioner the right to sell the property, they're literally skipping that whole process and taking it straight to the sheriff's office. Okay? As a first step, the sheriff must send out a written notice, also a public notice to sheriff's cell, which is usually falls under a daily report or a sheriff's cell in the newspaper. Now, this is the same process that is done on a judicial tax sale. Once the judge approves the sale, then it goes to the sheriff's office. So I need you guys just to know the difference in what you may be responsible for or the procedures for the tax lien process, let's say in this particular state. These notices group under the heading non-judicial tax sales are generally the first form of notice to hit the daily report and therefore usually represents the first alert appearance in the listing on the website. So this is the first notice after the paper notice directly sent to the homeowner. This is the second notice that's letting them know your stuff is about to be sold, because you have to let the people know. The judge, of course, have to know, let them know, and when we're foreclosing, we have to let any interest party know what we're doing so they can contest it if they feel necessary. Okay? If the notice lists as a private investor, that means that the county has transferred the tax lien on your property. So at this time, if it's a non-judicial tax sale, that means that if someone sees that ad, me or you investor, we can literally contact the county ahead of time before it goes on sale and try to invest in this tax lien. And then when the homeowner tried to pay for it, they literally have to be in contact with us. This is part of the non-judicial process because basically this county don't want to have anything to do with going through notification back and forth with the homeowner. They're basically going to leave it to us. Okay? So the first Tuesday of every month, you're going to be able to participate in tax lien sales across the board in Georgia. We're focusing on Henry County, Fulton County, and Clayton County, okay? Now, the monies that's collected for these tax sales, it goes towards the backs of the taxes. The bidder now takes ownership of the property, not full ownership. The original homeowner still has a way to get the house back. Explained below under redemption. So there is a redemption process which can take place over 6 months. Okay, I do apologize, a year. So in that year, the homeowner has the right to pay all their back taxes, the current taxes, penalties, and anything you may have invested applicable to law. because there's certain deadlines. Say, for instance, if you bought the tax lien 6 months ago, the law may allow you to start to get reimbursement for title search, things like that. So you really have to go in and just figure out what's your rights in your particular state. All right. So we're going to break down the redemption process a little bit later, but we're going to continue to go into what's a non-judicial tax sale versus judicial. Now, going on to a judicial sale. Judicial tax sale is the second type of tax sale. The second type of sale, and it's the less common because these counties don't want to go through the rigmarole. So the second and less most common of the property tax collections is the judicial tax foreclosure sale. When the tax authorities take this route, they have to wait a little bit longer. They go to court. They have to go to court, but it's usually a divisive process. And generally, the county avails itself in the process as a way to put an abandoned property in better hands, allegedly. So, for instance, if they have the non-judicial process and you just have anybody that buy it, and then the county steps out and say that you're responsible for putting people on notice, doing the title search, doing this, doing that, then literally you're going to have more chances of someone may not follow through with the tax foreclosure and take the property and do what they're supposed to do, versus if the person take their time and go through the court process, make sure that everything is done correctly on a timely manner when it comes to notifications, what the court process recommends for you to do. This shows that person is going to have more vested interest. It's all in theory here. This is all in theory here, but there's two different routes. And like we said, the non-judicial process is the most common way that the counties choose to go, but there is judicial tax sale. And an example of a judicial tax sale state is Maryland. The process is so long, like a whole year just to foreclose, after we waited the year to start the process. Well, 6 months, because in Maryland it's 6 months. Okay? So 12 months after the property tax first becomes due, the tax collector can file a petition in the court, Superior Court, and conduct a foreclosure sale on the property. Note, the legal action is filed not against the individual, but the actual land itself. Let's keep that in mind. This procedure is known as an action known in rem. Okay? In rem. And these are words that you'll be able to find in our dictionary. If you're part of the buyback team, we do have the dictionary uploaded, and you can download that 50-page PDF, and that will help you with some of the tax lien lingo. All right, so again, the judicial process, they have to go through the process of putting notifications in the daily newspaper, but this will happen. The first public notice announcement of the hearing of Superior Court on whether the tax foreclosure sale should be permitted. So this is why it takes a little bit longer, because first you have to put them on notice that you're taking them to court for the judicial process. And at that time, the homeowner has the right to even contest the tax sale in itself. So you see what I'm saying? This is why the judicial process is much longer, and counties opt not to go that way. Okay? So if you see your property listed is subjected for a judicial tax hearing, it is very important that that person connects with the tax commissioner, because that means that your property is about to be sold to a private investor. Once satisfied that the tax collector has met the law's notice and other procedure requirements, the judge issues an order allowing the foreclosure sale of the property. Okay? So this basically gives the homeowner a little bit more time to redeem their property, allow the courts to actually review the status of the property, who is going to possibly acquire the property, and this, in theory, will make that person more vested in the property. Some counties do it, some counties don't do it. But I do need you to be aware that these are procedures in the foreclosure process, and that you need to be aware of when you're moving down this route of foreclosing after you purchase tax liens. Okay? So in a couple of weeks, Again, we're going to break down the difference between states like Georgia versus Maryland, because you really need to understand the foreclosure process as well, not just purchasing the tax lien, not just doing the research to see if it's any liens or encumbrance on it, but you want to know what's the end game. What is my process and end game? Do I have to pay to a lawyer to do this, or can I do it myself? Where I'm just putting notices out to these people, and once they don't respond in a certain amount of time, I'm just taking it down to the court to get the deed recorded the correct way after the year of redemption has passed. So this is our start. This is how we're starting in Georgia this year. We will be doing the summer buyback extravaganza starting May into June, where we're going to be going county to county in Georgia this summer. County to county, we're going to be scooping up properties, and we hope to see you there. All right. So many of you were there. So that was a flashback of actually what we released a couple of months ago. Well, I'm going to say last year when we were doing the summer buyback extravaganza in Georgia. So let us show you a little clip from us doing a house search out there. Well, actually, like we looked at 3 properties when we did a pre-tax lien auction review of 3 properties, and we wanted to make sure that we got to look at it. Was it really what it said it was? And a few of them were pretty nice. So let me see, can I share that with you? And it does have some music, so just bear with me if it gets quiet, because that means that I don't want to get copyrighted. You know how. Do you know how YouTube is? Yeah. There. A little extravagant. And the crazy thing is that, hold on. The crazy thing is that I'm gonna mute the music, it's still playing, but this music I actually purchased off of Wix, and they seem to try to give me copyrights on YouTube, and even when I fight them, they kind of pull them off sometimes, but I just don't want to go through that. So we're muting the video. I'm still here. I just wanted to let y'all know what's going on. As a content creator, it's really hard to be on YouTube. All right, the video has sound. Is this the 32-minute video? This is a full 32-minute video. We won't be playing the full 32 minutes, but we're going to get into it. All right. We about to get on the road. So I want to tell you the 3 properties that we'll be reviewing is in Henry County. One will be on Morrow Drive. One is Potter's Lane. And the other one is Highland Circle. So let's check this out. The first place we're going to go to is the lot. Gotta mute it, guys. Well, we're currently driving through Georgia. Look at those beautiful streets. And we're on a physical house hunt to show you. You can take one Saturday out of your month and pick 4 properties, and make sure you do it in sequential order so you can save some gas, and take it bit by bit and look at the properties before you actually go to the tax lien sale. And it's beautiful homes. I'm going to step out and let you see it, okay? And this one is on Morrow, and it was pretty easy to find because of the county. And so I want you to take a look. Behind us is the lot. This is the lot that's located in the neighborhood. I'm going to flip the camera around so you can see it. Hopefully, let's flip the camera around. And this is the lot, as you can see. And I want you to take a look at the beautiful homes that's next to it. But this lot is about $7,000. And as you can see, we're right across from the property. I mean, from the water that we were looking at on the map. So we're going to compare that and we're going to show you guys. It's so beautiful out here. The only difference is that what you're going to see is that they have a picture of a home. They have a picture of a home across the street from it when you look at the GSI map. I mean, when you look at the county map, but there's not a home, but you do see a foundation of a structure there. So take a look. You'll see behind me, if get a good look. It's a foundation. The sun is kind of beaming. So this is actually a driveway. I want you to take a look. This is actually a driveway, and it looks like someone started to build on it, and something may have happened. So there is a lot. You see, this is a driveway, and it's okay. So I'm just gonna pause the video because I want two things I need you to highlight. That particular property is not on the tax lien assessment list, but what I was highlighting is that when you look on a map, it looks like it's a house. So maybe someone was in contract to build a house and they updated the MapQuest information. But this is something that can happen to you as a tax lien investor, where you will see a house on a particular land lot and it's not there. So you have to be aware. That's a buyer beware. Now, the next thing I want to talk to you about is actually when you look at this particular land, because I'm allow you to look at this part because we did look at three different places here, but we're just going to focus in on this. Now, when you look at that land, you can see that one, it has a utility box right in the front of it. Also, the second thing you'll notice is that the homes on both sides of that piece of land is pretty big. So that land may not be adequate for a home that fits the normalcy of that cul-de-sac. So let me show you. Let's go back just a little bit. I need to show you. Now, right around here. You see this utility box? It's a home. We're going to press play, and I want you to look at the size because look how big this home is. That's next to it. But this lot is about $7,000. And as you can see, we're right across from the property. Now you see the size of that lot. And you want to say to yourself as an investor, hey, can I put a home there? Would I be able to lease this property to a home buyer or put it under contract with a realty company? Or I may can get one of the two owners on each side of the property. You got two options that wants to buy that land and extend their property. So, as a tax lien investor, this is one of the things that I want to stress to you. You have to be creative because you never know what you may come upon. And you may have one idea, but then you may have to kind of tweak it a little bit because it's different when you actually see it, or you see something that may can take you off the path of your idea. So what that goes to say, someone saw this property and you're like, hey, it's in a cul-de-sac, it's beautiful, look at these big houses. But then when you look at it, because it's only $5,000, I think about this is about $5,000, you're like, hey, I can't put a house here. Would a contractor actually put a house here? Because it will be a rectangle house because it's gonna be slimmer than the other homes. Or can I rent this to a utility company, see if we can use this to put a pole, some type of solar panel that would be up in the air that wouldn't look so crazy in the middle of the cul-de-sac. So many things you can do. So these are kind of like the mindsets that we get you when you're part of the buyback team, because it's like we always say, it's not just about saying 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. It's literally being a wise investor, understanding your options, being diverse, and diversifying your portfolio. So I'm going to stop the broadcast as far as showing this right here. And I hope that you guys learned a lot tonight. It's about 45 minutes of information. And we went into detail about Georgia. And I think at this point, you should have a good understanding. I do apologize. This thing won't remove. remove. You should have a good understanding of how to start to enter Georgia's tax lien sale. You can go next Tuesday and go to the county and just sit there and watch people bid. Look at the list, get a feel of it. This was something I had to do because me, I'm okay. I'm a go getter, but I don't like a lot of drama. And I kind of look at the tax lien sale as, oh my God, it's a lot of drama. I don't want to be part 1,000, 2,000. So I had to go and be a part of it and watch and get a feel and be comfortable with the process and see, okay, we got some sharks here, we got some newbies, get to know people. You also see the video of that when I went to the Clayton County tax lien sale because I'm going to be honest, myself, I'm an over the counter investor. I have invested over 13 over the counter tax liens, and how can I say 11 of them have come back with interest over the last 4 years, as well as I have 3 extra properties, including my first property. And I say this to explain to you kind of how it can go for you, where you take your time and you go in through the back door. See, the reason why I was able to create a course because I have done so much due diligence in this field and took so many different educational courses that I felt that it was imperative to take the time to teach people this process, understanding, as I mentioned, many of us are in situations where we can't borrow from lenders, or we've been put in bad situations related to the last 3 years of drama that I ain't gonna talk about because my page is already kind of like, I don't know, down in the dumps. So I don't want nothing that's gonna keep prime time low. We're gonna keep it friendly and not say certain things that mess up the algorithm. But you know what happened in the last couple of years, and that literally threw our economy into chaos. And there's many of us that are still recovering, and to see what's going on with inflation on top of not being paid the value that we know we're supposed to be paid, we're in a tight situation. So I felt that it was imperative to take everything that I have learned and share it with you guys. Because one, Lashley loves to learn and Lashley loves to share. And I'm going to say that is why we have the buyback team. It's not about you just going to purchase or you just buying the plan. This is why I literally show you what these other gurus are showing you in a free course, and I show you how to invest across the whole United States. You just apply it. But I need you to be thorough. The program is about being thorough, being protecting yourself. So I'm going to close off by just giving you a little personal situation. And I do want to say thank you to all of the new buyback members that has come into the website. We're currently right now, let's say how many students we have. We have about 60 students inside of the website, and we have about 60 on Udemy. We do have a free program on Udemy. That's where we first started. We keep that free program there, and that's why I brought the free program here and I advanced it. So with that, we have 120 students, and we are moving forward. Our last student that come in, I don't want to say their email and their name, but I do want to say I do apologize if you had any confusions about, you being part of the full course. So when I say protect yourself, you have to know the craft of other people and other specialties, not so you can all do it yourself, but you can protect yourself. I have shared many stories of me having to backtrack behind my lawyer. I'm still waiting for one more property to receive the deed because of a mishap of my lawyer. But because I am adamant about investing and very educated, I fix a lot of the problems. And this is what I want to show you. So, in connection to our last invitee who came into the program, I do apologize if you felt like you were part of the full program. It's literally because we almost got scammed. We've been doing a lot of upgrades to our website, to our program, to make sure that we have everything and more for you. So we had a few freelancers that were able to access the program. And this last freelancer seemed to change my settings for the free program to include the full program. Now, the last two people who enrolled in the last 24 hours may have thought that they had the access to the full program with the free course. So I do apologize. I had to reassign you to the free program. And this is why I tell you guys, you have to do your due diligence. You have to know other people craft because they'll take advantage of you. So to sum up the story, I contacted the guy and said, "Hey, I noticed a few of my settings of the website was changed, and this never happened. This website been up for 4 years, and I'm expecting quality work as far as what are you supposed to do, and what's going on." So I was able to go into the website and track the changing of the website. Anything that's done, you'll be able to track the login history. But if you're not educated and able to be diverse, and I'm not saying you need to go set up your own website and do everything yourself, at least learn the key things so you can protect yourself. Because if I did not know how to go into the log and see that this person was changing my settings, I would not know that he was allowing other people to access the program. From the time I gave this person access to upgrade my website, 5 or 6 people came in from another country. And I'm going to say I have a lot of international students. Shout out to my international students. We're going to talk about that too. But I do appreciate any students that's coming from Pakistan. I appreciate you. But if you are in connection to the actual it's the SEO marketing person that told you about this program, please be honorable. You don't have access to the full program. So this is what I was able to troubleshoot. I'm not going to go more into detail about that. I did my troubleshooting. I found out what was happening. I've been in contact with Wix. And at this point, I don't know if the website has been hacked because my settings are changed. But please, guys, if you're enrolling and you happen to be in a course that you know you're not supposed to be in, I'm going to fix it. And then, you can just move forward as then. Don't take it personal. It's just because I may have been in contact with a scammer. So this is one of the things I want to show you, because I'm not going to say that the counties are scammers, but what I will say is that the county's going to sell what they got. And you need to be aware of, hey, I may get a dud. I may get something that I can't work with. I may get something that'll be a liability to me. And this is why we constructed the program for you. So I wanted to share that with you. And also, we want to say we have currently live the full trust seminars on the website. Okay. The trust seminars right now that's uploaded to the website, it's 10 seminars. You can buy each seminar for $20 and you can have it if that's how you choose to, or you can have the full package for $199. Please understand that the trust seminar is continued to be updated. So even if you have these 10 seminars that we have broke down, we're going to continue to add more trust seminars because we're going to move on into 3 more subjects definitely in the next 6 weeks, which is trust law, the laws that apply to it, how to review it. We're also going to go into trust tax, what to understand, the basic understanding of how creating a trust can give you some tax liability. So we're going to show you where to look for this. So when you talk to your CPA, you can help guide them, because some CPAs don't know about this. They don't understand how to connect your trust to your business and how to make your business pay for your trust, and also connect your um, investment tools to it. As I told you, you can invest. You can connect a 401k to a trust. You can create a child trust. So we have all of that and more. I just need you to go to the price plans. And even if you're not ready to even, purchase these plans, that's fine. what we ask you to do is be part of the buyback team because we need you guys to gain control of the real estate market. Right now, as I told you, out of the 160 students, I will say, well, how did I say 160? 120, I do apologize. About close to 100 of them are from out of the country. And that's something I really appreciate. Thank you to my Pakistani, to my Indian, Bulgarian. I have Chinese students, Indian, as I said, Indian too. They really jumped on this program. And I know they're from other countries because I can see when they log in. Okay. And the sad thing is that I really built this program for brown melanated people in America who is cut off from the real estate market, who want to enter through the back door. But I have noticed that international people have the mindset to say, hey, oh, I'm about to enter through the back door. And I can't even be mad at them. So shout out to you guys. I have a lot of information for you, but I want you international students to know some of these counties do require you to be a US citizen. So I don't want you to just jump into this and be like, hey, I can invest everywhere. They're going to ask you, some of them ask you, are you a US citizen? And that's especially if you're coming in as an entity and you're not using your real name. This is what it is. The reason why is because there are taxes that are connected to tax liens, meaning that when you receive interest off your tax liens, they report that to the government. You don't need to have credit, but they're going to report that little bit of interest or whatever interest you get. You got that's just the way the United States work. But if you're part of the buyback team, you're gonna learn how to get them tax deductibles. You're gonna learn how to maneuver around taxes because that's also another sector we're gonna start sharing. We're not tax experts, but let me tell you, I have went to bat with the IRS at least 3 times. And I would say one of the times I had to pay because literally I forgot to report a 1099 for the first year, but the other two, uh-uh. So I want to show you this. I want to show you how to protect yourself because I'm an advocate for protection. I'm a quality assurance nurse. We're about quality care. We're about quality quality being given to the people. And I bring all of those ethics and those values here for you guys. So I want to say thank you for letting Lashley go off on a little tangent towards the end. If you're part of the buyback team, when this is uploaded, it's going to be edited, and it's just going to be focused on how to invest in Georgia. I want to say thank you to the people who sat here through the broadcast. I appreciate you. And I will see you on Monday with more hints and tips. You're going to see we're going to be on all 3 platforms. And also, I'm going to stream on IG Live. I got it together this time, guys. It went a little bit more smoother. Give me a kudos. No drama. I was a little bit late, but we'll definitely be here at 6 p.m. on Monday. So you have a beautiful weekend. Enjoy your Monday. I'm coming on Monday because I'm a Hebrew, so I work. I work all the time. So I'll see you on Monday at 6 o'clock.